What the fuck is this? Why are you dressed like that?
You told me to bring the energy.
Right. What I meant was like, do you want like coffee or like a Red Bull or something? I didn't mean whatever this is. Do you want something to drink?
Glass of milk.
Like in your coffee or?
Just milk.
All right. Hey everybody.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Chorizo Bros. Back at it again with Brandon. Thank you for joining us again, man. It's been a while since you've been on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun.
I feel like it's been a while. What did we do last? James?
Yeah, we did James.
Percival Everett's book.
That one was really good.
Yeah, we had Arian on.
Yeah, that was a book review. This one we're doing up right now is going to be a movie review.
Just movie, not an adaptation today.
Yeah, no, just straight up.
We have been doing some adaptations.
We're doing some adaptations, some book and movies, but this is just a straight...
We're just doing straight movie, right?
Yeah, straight movie.
We needed something easy to fill in the gaps. For you guys that have been... Something fun, yeah. For you guys that have been following the show, you might have noticed Art's been MIA for a while. This is a very busy time of the month for his business. So... we're having some people fill in, and
it's been... say it's his time of the month.
It's his time of the month. Yes. Art's gonna be real mad when he sees that. No, we love you, man. But no, while he's sitting out, Brandon has been kind enough to come back on the show several times. I mean, you've just been on the show just for fun, but
yeah.
Currently, we're kind of throwing some easy ones in, just to get some episodes, just to get some content for you guys. So that's where we're at today. We're talking about Léon the Professional, 1994 film, I believe. We're going to do this like we normally do, guys. How we normally started off is we started off with a quick review of the movie or book and or some version of the two, and then we go knee deep into spoilers, guys. So we don't want to ruin this for you. I think this is a movie that benefits from not having seen it or knowing the spoilers or knowing what's going to happen. Yeah. Because you need a little bit of suspense. So do yourself a favor. If you haven't seen it, listen to our quick spoiler-free review. Watch the movie. Come back and watch the rest of the episode. I mean, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So Brandon, start us off. What do you think of the movie?
I think this is a movie, badass action movie. You know, nothing too heavy. There is some definite emotional parts to it. Beginning of Natalie Portman's career, I think I heard someone say, and she is young in this film. And it's just a badass action, a kind of bullets blazing, and some good all-around acting, I think, for the time period.
Oh, yeah, this screams 90s.
Yeah.
There's a lot of aspects of this that scream 90s.
Yeah. There's definite plots that are in most 90s, almost Die Hard-esque, some type of 90s action. But it does it in a way that's memorable.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those movies that I think it has its place in pop culture. It doesn't get referenced as much as some movies. Yeah. But if you watch movies, if you're into movies, this is definitely one that you should see, I think. So we'll do out of 5. What do you get it?
I'd say maybe like a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
It's definitely got some parts that, you know, for the time period, but with some of the acting and in certain characters, I think that was really, really well done. And then the action sequences are something I had never seen before. And I feel if you watch a modern action film like John Wick or anything like that, this is kind of the forerunner. This is like the beginning of it. Yeah. Because this guy is doing some crazy stuff. Yeah. Not to give away spoils, but some crazy...
No, I mean, if you're watching this, at least know it's an action movie. You're going to see some cool action. No, this was, for me, for my part of it, I'm not going to go as high. I think this movie definitely has some criticisms, and I think you can argue away some of it because it's a 90s movie, that you can go, okay, some of these things are uncomfortable, but it makes sense for it being early 90s. But... some movies can have uncomfortable things that you can make them make sense, and the rest of the movie be so good that it trumps that. In this one, I feel like it holds it back a little. Some of the music it's using dates it immediately. Yeah. Some of the cinematography is its best, but it really does kind of date itself again. And
it does.
It is. It was hard for me to like not see it. So overall, it is, again, in pop culture, you probably should see it because it does get referenced, and it's one of those things where, like you said, a lot of action movies today, you can tell the director had seen this movie.
Oh, they had to have seen that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the granddaddy of modern shooters.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. So definitely it gets points, a lot of points for that. I think that some of the emotional beats in here are kind of icky. And we'll get more into that on the spoiler part. So I'm just going to land at about a 3.5. It's a really fun action movie. You should watch it. As far as it trying to be really emotional and deep, it falls flat for me.
Yeah. No, definitely. It tries to, and there are some aspects of the film that it is trying to make a message or trying to be heartfelt, I guess, in respect to Natalie Portman's character. But it does fall flat some parts. Are we going straight into spoilers?
Yeah, guys, at this point, I think we both agree you should see the movie. So if you haven't, go watch it. If you have, we're gonna talk about the movie the whole way through. So that's your warning to dip out before we start talking about this stuff.
So first kind of emotional story that they kind of put out there is Natalie Portman's character, her family being killed. But they do it in such a way, they even started off, and you sympathize a little bit when she's complaining to Leon that, the rest of her family kind of deserved to just get killed. And the only thing she was sad about was her little brother getting killed. And, it was not as emotional revenge, when you saw her kind of trying to go to Leon to get revenge. You felt like, well, didn't you just say your family was a piece of shits? Like,
right? Yeah, it's like the first thing he says.
Yeah. So
he's like, well, then why are you crying?
Exactly.
If they suck so bad, why are you crying?
I get where those parts are like they fall flat. Yeah,
it's like trying to with some of the sappy music and whatever, and some of it just made me cringe.
What's your name?
Leon.
There's
some of the lyrics. I had the
subtitles on?
Closed caption subtitles on.
Which part are you referring to? Bjork?
When she is that Bjork when she first gets into the apartment with him, into the hotel house or whatever, and she's kind of setting up. They're doing like
domestic stuff.
The routine. She's doing yoga and stuff.
Yes, that's Bjork. That's a Bjork. That's a Bjork.
Oh
song.
my gosh, there's lyrics.
That's called
his fingers and like. Really sexualized, and it has Natalie Portman like super young.
They overly sexualized her in this.
Oh, she does
like,
that
too
Madonna
much.
and
Happy birthday,
happy birthday. Oh my god!
I was like,
I'm like, okay,
yeah.
yes.
The song you're referring to that has those lyrics.
Yeah.
I didn't write down the lyrics, but I wrote down.
It was Bjork.
The song is called "Venus is a Boy," and it's the singer's Bjork. And it's I would not have noticed it because it is kind of a cool like song to have in the background, except that I did what you did. I put the fucking closed captions on and I saw and it writes the lyrics as the song plays.
Sounds cool. Listen to it.
But if you listen to the lyrics, you're like, ugh. It's like, oh, put your fingers on me and you're like,
when there's like this stranger older man and young Natalie Portman starting to live
in
together.
The story. I think she's 12, and I don't know in real life how old she is, but in the story she's 12.
Yeah, she's
a great job by her, by the way. She fucking killed it for being a 12-year-old and not being like annoying.
Yeah,
as an actress.
No, yeah.
She did a hell of a good job, but yeah, these guys really. I don't know. I think it's like, believe it or not, I think it's like European influence because Luc Besson's French. Mm-hmm. So I was like, maybe he just like in Europe they just like deal with things like this differently, where they don't. They can do a story.
Consent is lower.
well, there's a lot to say here, and I definitely think it deserves the criticisms that we're about to give it. But I also have to consider that there's a culture shock thing there, and I think when you find out this one thing about Jean Reno, the actor that plays Leon, what he said with his approach to the performance in this, that it kind of makes the movie make a little bit more sense in terms of why there's this kind of sexual aspect to it.
Yeah, what did he say?
So Luc Besson, or not Luc Besson, Jean Reno, Leon, his idea about this performance was that he was going to play the character like he's mentally 10 years old. So he was like, I'm only going to do the, because he was offended by the script. He was offended by the fact that, why are they asking me to play this pedophile type character?
Yeah.
This killer who takes in this young girl. Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay, I'll do it, but you have to let me kind of do it this way.
Be as innocent as can be as a killer.
Right. And he does. That comes across
he drinks
on screen,
milk.
for sure.
He's very trusting with his money. With
naive, so
like a 10-year-old,
right?
Like, trusting.
That's my buddy Tony. He's gonna take care of my money. So his idea there was, this is a kid that in his mind he's mentally a kid, and therefore he doesn't really understand. He almost feels like she's in control of it. Their quote unquote relationship, like she's in control of it.
Yeah.
Because he's playing even younger than her.
Yeah.
So that was the concept there. And knowing that,
he doesn't know how to read. He has no knowledge of pop culture references whatsoever.
Right. He doesn't know that he should not let this go as far as it does. Like he doesn't understand the concept of that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he does, because he does for 1 second walk over there when she's sleeping with a gun.
Oh, like with the gun at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he does get that there's something wrong, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
he's playing.
Part of him was like wanting to put out of her misery or something.
I think it was because if they trace her back to his place, he's got to answer for all the killings he's done, and
true.
He's probably got some. Maybe he's illegal.
He definitely is.
Right.
He's
right.
He can't really read.
Yeah, you get the idea that he's probably illegal. So he doesn't want them investigating him. Mm-hmm. So it's partly, it's not just altruism of putting her out of her misery. He's concerned about not getting in trouble also. Anyway, so yeah, that was an interesting part on the actor's point to be like, I'm gonna play him as a 10-year-old.
That's interesting,
and that's why he was even okay with doing the project. So. So that's kind of cool. There is a movie called La Femme Nikita. Did you ever see that? Mm-mm. It's another like French action movie that Luc Besson made in 1990 before this movie. And you can kind of tell he develops his style over the years, because he's done other movies like The Transporter. Mm-hmm. He's got other movies under his belt. But La Femme Nikita was like, I think I saw it like right after this, because I was maybe around 18, 19 when I was really getting into movies. I was like, I want to watch every movie that they say I should watch, and I want to get really into it. Somebody said, watch Leon, and then I was like, who's Luc Besson? And I watched La Femme Nikita, and unless I'm thinking of a different movie, it's another like assassin lady.
Okay.
And there's a cool scene where she's like got a date or something, and then but she's supposed to be doing this assassination, and she has to like hide her sniper rifle in a bathtub or something.
Really?
Maybe I'm misremembering. It's been many years since I've seen this. But it was very stylized. It was kind of like this, kind of just fast editing.
Yeah.
Interesting, where like the killer moves to a different spot, and it's almost supernatural the way it's filmed. How Leon like does a sit-up. He's doing sit-ups because he like hides in random spots.
Yeah, you finally realize why he's constantly doing sit-ups, because he's
hanging upside down with the guns
all the time. He's just...
and so there was a lot of, you can see his cinematic style in La Femme Nikita. She does like it's filmed kind of similar to that, where she's very powerful just in terms through
the shadows. In the corners.
there's cool shit like that. Yeah, it's a lady assassin that's French or something. Don't quote me too much on it. I'm sorry, I haven't seen it that recently, but I remember liking La Femme Nikita. It was pretty cool. Yeah, this was a debut film for Natalie Portman. This is her first one. Yeah, so according to what I saw online, her debut.
Anytime this girl goes and gets milk for anybody, they die. She went and got milk for her family, or for Leon the first time. Dead. Her family's dead. She goes to get milk that other time. Comes back, they come and fucking storm the place. Like, they do the whole SWAT thing. Like, it's a permanent, like, going to go get those 2 quarts of milk is the death sentence.
Is what gets her.
Yeah, everyone dies after that.
Well, I don't know if you've seen this kind of trope before. Jeremy and I talked about it multiple times, where milk is symbolic for something in movies. We were talking about in The Mist. We did The Mist. And the bad lady in that, she gets shot She's got a bottle of milk, and the bullet goes through her.
Oh,
the milk bottle and shoots her.
The crazy.
And then we talked about There Will Be Blood and the whole milkshake scene, and so Clockwork Orange.
I thought you were gonna Clockwork. I thought you were gonna say Alien. Just so much,
that's one of them.
So much milk. Ridley Scott has an obsession with like him and his son with milk. I don't know if you saw that show Raised by Wolves. I was talking
There's like milk scenes.
Every android or anything is just like pure milk
comes out of
But
it,
then also there's another scene where like there's this girl just having a like experience where she's just being bathed in this like milky liquid. I'm like, what is going on with Ridley Scott and milk? Anyways, yeah,
milk is just one of those things cinematically that's just unusual to film.
Also
but it's associated with like
in mangas and in like manhwas, when they censor them with blood, they put them white. And a lot of the time it looks...
Oh!
And then they...
I never considered that.
And it looks all white, but then sometimes it looks like a bunch of everywhere, because it replaced...
Okay. So they might be using milk as a sexual thing here too? Because I think it's supposed to, in this movie, mostly represent youth and innocence.
His innocence, yeah.
But you're right. There is a corrupting nature to the milk.
Corrupting nature.
Corrupting, yeah. Because, like you said, every time milk's involved, something bad happens to her.
Yeah.
It's this guy is killing people, and he's teaching a young girl who wants to sleep with him.
Leon, I think I'm kind of falling in love with you.
How to murder also. So there's like, this is not a good guy.
Yeah.
So there is some sort of there is a juxtaposition between how milk is supposed to be perceived as this like innocent, pure thing that kids do, and then them using it in this like, yeah, he's teaching her how to murder people. Like there's definitely a thing going on with the milk. Anyways, it's one of those things they use in cinema a lot. Sugar from No Country for Old Men, he like sits down in the trailer and drinks milk from someone's fridge, and
he definitely killed.
No, he's searching for him. I think.
Is it?
Don't quote me. I think. I'm pretty sure Sugar is looking for Moss.
Okay.
And he like goes into his trailer and he sits and drinks his milk.
Well, evil people drink milk.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making. Yeah, they do it in Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange gets referenced in this a million times. Did you notice it?
Like they actually.
There's weird references to Clockwork Orange in this. How well do you know Clockwork Orange?
I haven't seen it in quite a while.
Okay, so I actually wrote some notes about that. Well, first off, you know how in Clockwork Orange he's like obsessed with Beethoven?
Okay.
Yeah, so there's Beethoven.
What's his name's character? Gary Oldman's character?
Gary Oldman's character. Gary Oldman mentions Beethoven in the movie. There's a whole ass action scene where he's...
reminds him to Beethoven, and he's listening to it on the...
Right, and he's even like pretending he's hearing Beethoven while he's shooting the place up with a shotgun. Crazy. In that same year that this movie came out, he actually played Beethoven. Gary Oldman did.
Really?
It's a movie that no one saw. It's called Immortal Beloved.
Huh.
And it's Gary Oldman as Beethoven.
That's crazy.
So he mentions Beethoven, and in that same year he did a Beethoven project. So there's some references to Clockwork Orange, and they're not huge, but I noticed them.
Okay.
Because Clockwork Orange is one of those things where there's so many iconic things about it that it's like... it's hard not to notice it when you do. So there's...
suspenders.
Wow. So random. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you're right. There's... I'm pretty sure that when he shoots the wife of Natalie Portman's mom, she's like drinking milk. I'm pretty sure.
In the bathtub?
Yeah.
Really?
And there's a bathtub scene in Clockwork Orange where he sings what? Singing in the Rain.
I'm singing in the rain.
Remember? That's how the writer finds out that it's him. Because he remembers that when he robbed him and beat him up and hurt his wife, he was singing in the rain. And there's a whole scene about singing in the rain in here. So they're singing in the rain, milk in a bathtub. There's a lot of one eye imagery, and that happens a lot in Clockwork Orange, where he peeks through the eye hole, he closes the door, and you only see the one eye in the gap. The scope, he teaches her how to use the scope, and he's like, don't open it until you're ready to shoot. You know, there's a lot of one eye stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very Clockwork Orangey. And again, they're small, and maybe I'm reaching, I don't know, but I feel like it's definitely in there. Did you ever play the Fallout games?
Oh, yeah.
Did you play New Vegas?
Yeah.
there is a perk you can get called the Professional.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how the guy, they always like design the guy to be doing something when you get a perk? It's Léon the Professional. He's got like a houseplant and a couple of guns with silencers on them.
That's funny.
And you have to have a certain sneak level to unlock this perk, and it's supposed to do something. I don't know.
Really?
But I remember it. I remember it when I played New Vegas.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I've seen Léon. That's pretty funny. They put they put that in there. And I thought about it again when I watched Léon last night. I was like, oh, I forgot Fallout did that cool. It's just a cool reference.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll put a picture of it. Right here? Right here. Oh, you know what? I should probably shout this guy out. So there's a part in the apartment shootout scene where Gary Oldman is in there and he's got his posse with him, the detectives, the cops. And they're shooting the place up, and then there's the one bald guy. He's buff, and he's like outside of the
Jerry or
building.
something.
I don't remember what his
Bill,
character's called.
Ben, or I forgot.
Benny. So the character that the actor that plays that is called Keith A. Glasgow. So he's the guy, he like gets shot, I think, in the side, and then he like accidentally, he doesn't shoot anybody, but he shoots at his own friends. Like he's out in the hallway and he he scares them. Mm-hmm. That guy, I'll try to. I'll put a picture.
Yeah, Gary Oldman and him try to get out, and they're like,
so that guy's a fucking hero, dude. That guy was interesting. So that the actor that played that guy, so he was a firefighter.
Don't tell me he was there in 9/11. It's set in New York, so he's a local like New York actor, like just an. Extra.
I don't know about all that, but I know that he was a firefighter, and he tragically died in the September 11th attacks when the South Tower collapsed.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, so that guy's a fucking hero. Shout out to you, Keith A. Glasgow, dude. He was an actor, died a hero, man. And then he was also a practice player for the New York Jets.
What?
Yeah, he's just
he was a big guy.
He was a big dude. Yeah. What, does that shock you that he was a football player? It's like, nah.
No.
He wasn't on. I don't think he was like. He was technically on the team.
Wait, was this after the movie or before the movie?
I didn't look that far into it. I just thought it was interesting.
Crazy.
But it did say that he was a practice player for them. So cool. What an interesting guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to you. I mean, damn, man, fallen hero, man.
I'm trying to remember if they actually even say in the film. I don't think they.
No,
actually
it's never mentioned.
No, but he's taking them, and then he's like talking about the calm before the storm, and then the other guy, after he shoots the guy, he's like, hey, calm down, he's already dead, he's dead meat. He's like, I'm calm, but he ruined my suit. And he's like, so he's like very calm, but he's angry. And he kind of has like this explosive rage. Also, he was basically taking benzos just to like calm his nerves, to be like sedated or even keel, or like some people was like ADHD, or some people take it. So he was just like, he was just popping him so he could get like a high, but it also be like somewhat calmed or sedated.
You get the vibe that it's a prescription that he abuses.
Oh yeah. Oh, he doesn't even.
That's the vibe I got. I mean, it could be drugs. He stole from the police station.
Yeah, he's a dirty bastard.
He's a dirty cop. Yeah.
And it's in like a tin can, so I don't think it's a prescription at all.
Oh right.
Yeah, but he's like he loves them. Like he's fucking addicted to those things. But what I saw is that he's taking benzos.
Benzos. Yeah, that's what I got too. A specific one called Librium.
Yeah.
And then I looked up Librium. It's a form of benzodiazepine. It's a medication for a few things. ADD, ADHD, whatever is one of them. But it's also for anxiety. And people take it for withdrawal symptoms. And that got me. Where I was like, yeah, because he's a fucking dirty cop.
Yeah.
He's a drug dealer. Mm-hmm. So there's no way he's not the type of cop to just do drugs because he deals.
Yeah,
with
he
them.
killed that family for the coke.
Well, because he stole 10% of it. Right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, the dad.
He's like,
did.
I gave you 100% pure, and it's got 10% cut now. So
also, what is it? Very bad plot hole. Why did the dad just not give him the drugs? He knew he was gonna, like, the whole family was gonna get murdered.
It's a weak plot hole, isn't it?
It's very weak. He's very stupid. That dad is very.
You just need to get the plot going at that point. They just needed a reason. They just needed a writing, like in the writing. They just needed a reason to get. For some reason, for Gary Oldman to show who he is as a cop,
as a dirty cop, and then.
Well, I think you find out later that he's a cop.
Yeah,
I think you just think he's a gangster at first, and then it's after after the shootout
when
he tells the Rasta kid, he's like,
"We're doing our job.
Stay here." He's like, "Dude, we're doing our job." Dude, Gary Oldman, I love as Commissioner Gordon in fucking Dark Knight and the Batman movies, Christopher Nolan. I kind of hated him in this.
Oh yeah, no, he's like as an actor or just as
no, as an actor. His performance was like. When he goes too over the top, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. When he's like twisting his neck around and he's like chewing on the pill and he's like sniffing the one guy. He like sniffs the guy.
Yeah, he really gets up close to him and he's like,
I'm like, oh, is this because the director's European? Like, what's going on here?
Everything's good.
Everything's weird in this movie
sexualized is because he's European.
Is because he's European, yeah. And I was like, Gary Oldman did not enjoy doing that, and he was doing it because he was directed to do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that was Gary Oldman's fucking idea to be like, oh no, just let me sniff the guy. I'm just pretending like I'm a bloodhound.
Maybe it was.
Maybe Gary Oldman.
They're like, all right, Gary, so you got the sixth sense to sniff out.
Look, man, I just told him you can sniff out lies.
It's like,
oh, okay, I'll sniff him.
Gary, I don't know if that's what we meant.
Gary, take a backseat on this one, man. I loved you as Commissioner Gordon.
Not one of his best. I like him in Dracula. I like him.
Dracula, it's okay that he's over the top.
Because he's fucking Dracula.
Yeah. We should do Dracula.
Oh, yeah, we should do
Keanu Reeves? Dracula. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's do that.
Right after interview.
We'll just go in a vampire. Yeah. We'll just do straight vampires until...
Michaela would join in on that, too.
Guys, you know what? We might... talk about some vampire movies. This sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, we might get some.
We might have to do that. But yeah, Gary Oldman, I did not love him, and I think
his top,
his style as an actor is to just go for it, and I appreciate that. I just didn't like his performance in this.
Yeah, no, there's other films that I enjoyed him better in. He played Winston Churchill recently.
I don't know about that. I know that I've seen him in some movies, and I like him in them. This one is one of them I didn't.
Yeah, he was...
I think his... It could have worked if they just dialed back the outrageous stuff. If he had just been like, yeah, I'm a dirty cop, and he's kind of like menacing in a way that like...
His character is somewhat memorable, though.
Oh, definitely.
Not for the best reasons.
No.
But he's memorable.
I'll never forget the twisting around.
Yeah, I'll never forget the
pill,
cracking of the pill.
Or the stiffing the guy.
Just those two specific.
Or his death. His death is pretty great. It's a cool death.
Oh, when he gets...
He's like, fuck, and he explodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good way for him to go
out. When was Matilda made, the film?
Oh.
What was the choice?
Interesting. I don't have my phone in here. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it on the screen.
What was the choice?
Editing me, get to work.
Matilda, and then also having the character Matilda was a very similar hairstyle to...
You know what? It's funny. Speaking of hairstyle, while you look that up, I was reminded very much of Pulp Fiction and Mia Wallace.
Okay, yes.
That black, haircut. Short hair, and then there's a scene where she's wearing somebody's clothes and they're too big.
Wow, Matilda was 2 years after this film. Wow. Who thought they were like, wow, I loved Leon. Let's make a... Was Matilda based off of a book? Or was it?
I think so. I think it was a kid's book.
It is? Okay.
But there's a scene. The book. Yeah, there's a scene where Natalie Portman in Leon, she like is wearing someone else's clothes and it looks too big on her. And Mia Wallace does that in Pulp Fiction when she wears John Travolta's coat and it looks really big on her. And I remember I looked at them and I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. They look very similar. So it was a connection that I made. Whatever.
Book was in 88.
The Book of Matilda?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. It does seem like an older... Was it Roald Dahl or whatever? Who wrote it?
Roald Dahl.
Yeah. The guy that did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and all those books.
Mm-hmm. Big fucking
giant.
Yeah.
The BFG, like the Doom gun?
Yeah.
And wasn't that a thing, BFG?
Big fucking gun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Why would they... Never mind.
Make that into I don't think they knew what was going on.
No, it's just when they called it the BFG in the game, it's like it was like that kid's
children's book. Yeah.
Speaking of video games, we talked about
they had a Léon Professional video game.
No, but check this out. So we talked about the New Vegas perk that's based off of Leon. There's Jean Reno modeled a video game character where you're like a samurai. It's called Onimusha. So there's multiple of these games. They're supposed to be making a new one, and I'm gonna buy that shit. But basically, was this on the
samurai?
PlayStation? Yeah, PS2? It was PS2.
I think I played one of those.
You definitely did, because these games were big, but it's kind of they're just kind of forgettable.
I used to play a lot of samurai ninja games.
They were cool games because you fought fucking demons, right? So Onimusha 3, I think it's called Demon Siege. I can't find where I wrote it on here, but you jump time. And you're half of the game, you're this samurai warrior, and then the other half, you're like a SWAT team commander. And you're fucking Leon. You're Jean Reno, the actor. You fight demons as Jean Reno. So he does the voice, and he does. Yeah. They modeled the face after this.
Oh, that's
guy.
great. That's great.
Isn't that crazy? I was like Jean Reno. Random.
I had seen him in really early on. Because my parents always had like HBO and shit like that growing up, so they would like see like I never fully saw Leon, but it was on, and then
how do you edit this down to like?
And then the first time I actually saw Jean Reno was in Godzilla, like.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
with fucking Matthew Broderick.
Yes, I was, and then I go back. I was like, oh look, it's. It's fucking Godzilla guy. Yeah. What is he doing killing all these people?
He's a fucking cool ass assassin. Assassin.
An autistic assassin.
Oh, autistic. The character in the Onimusha game is called Jacques Blanc. And in my head when I read it, I was like, Jack Black? And then I thought, wait, no, that's Jack Blanc is white. So I was like, Jack White, like from the White Stripes. I don't know why I just kept making these weird connections in my head. I was like, Jean Reno as
the White
Stripes frontman. That guy's fucking cool, by the way. Speaking of Jack White, you know how he's a big like vinyl aficionado,
collector.
He's like, well, not just a collector. He like did something where he's involved in the production of vinyl. Not just for himself, but I think he's like trying to revolutionize it as an art form or whatever. I saw him do an interview about this. Whatever. It's kind of we're not really talking about that. But I was going to ask you, because I didn't do research on it, but I'm probably going to look it up just because I'm curious. That Rasta dude that works for Gary Oldman. Yeah. He picks up an album at one point, and it's like a white Rastafarian, which is fucking weird, by the way.
Very 90s. Let's go back to the 90s.
Right. Like, so he picks up this album and he's like, oh, cool, man. He like looks at it and it's very clear it wasn't just some random one. He picks up a specific album. And I was wondering if you knew about it. I wrote, Rasta white dude picks up an album called Marcus's Children, and it's called Burning Spear.
Burning Spear.
And it's like a Jamaican singer. And I was like, if I play this music, and I don't know why I didn't look it up before we got here, to listen to it. Because I don't know if there's like some reference to how does it fit into the Leon story.
Maybe he just found a Rasta album. Is
it just a weird character thing?
Yeah, cool dude. Rasta album.
But yeah, I was like, they showed it for a reason. So maybe it's just like one of Luc Besson's albums that he likes. He's just shouting out an album he liked.
Okay.
And speaking on albums,
Bjork's album.
Bjork, yes. That was cool that Bjork's got a cool voice. I'm not into her music really, but I really appreciate her as an artist. Yeah. You're never going to hear me fucking listening to it. Yeah. I'm not going to just put it on.
I'm not going to recommend people Bjork, but...
No, but I get why people love Bjork.
Yeah.
Especially that one guy. Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, no. We'll have to we should do a whole episode on that.
A whole episode?
No, it's this guy like terrorized Bjork. He like was a crazy stalker. Really? Yeah, dude. There's a whole ass story.
Isn't she from like Norway or something?
Yeah. And it was some guy from his name was like Ricardo Lopez or some random dude who like obsessed over Bjork and then tried to attack her. Oh, it died.
Yeah.
Just like that guy wanted Bjork to die.
Exactly.
So this guy like saw her dating somebody in like a People magazine, like one of those like celebrity magazines. He like saw her with some guy, and he was like, "You don't fucking love me." So he like sent her, dude. He sent her a bomb.
What?
His original plan was to get AIDS blood. I'm not making this up.
Get AIDS.
He was gonna get AIDS blood. He was gonna put it on like screws and nails and make a bomb with it, so that when she opened up this package, it was gonna blow up in her face. She was gonna get AIDS.
What the fuck?
So he made this thing, sent it to her, but in the meantime, while it's in the mail, while it's in the process of this happening, he records himself, and there's videos on the internet where you can see it.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was obsessed with Bjork.
When was
so?
this?
Let's not talk about this anymore because I can't. This can't even go on the episode. It's like we have to like
edit
censor
out
out how.
Yeah.
But you and I could look at it later when we're done here.
Oh, okay.
This guy's a fucking creep.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy stalker went after Bjork.
Damn.
So yeah, not that I enjoy her music, but bad. She's good.
She's good.
We need a force like that in the music world. We need somebody who's not afraid to be avant-garde in her dress and in her art style and make some badass music. So you know what? Shout out to you, Bjork. Weird song to put in this movie, but
Super weird.
But Bjork, we love you. But there's this annoying band. I'm an asshole when it comes to music. There's a lot of shit I don't like. There's this band.
But Bjork, you'll let slide.
I love Bjork is cool though. I might not like her music, but I like her. She's cool. So there's a band called Alt J. Have you ever heard of this? They had this one song that annoyed the shit out of me. They played the shit out of this song. It's called Breeze Blocks. You know this song is like their most famous one. It's like the music video is like this guy attacking this woman, and then they play it in reverse, and you see what really happened. You never heard this song? It was real. If I played the song, you'd know it. Alt J made a song dedicated to Matilda from this movie.
Really?
So it doesn't matter because you don't know Alt J.
Okay.
So it kind of sucks that I just said all that.
Well, I don't know the song you're talking about. I've heard of Alt J. I just haven't heard the other song.
Yeah, so they made a song dedicated to Matilda from this. I just random since we're talking about music.
But it wasn't dedicated to Matilda, the Matilda movie, Matilda?
Matilda was dedicated to Matilda from Léon the Professional. Somebody was like, is Natalie Portman young enough to be in Matilda with Danny DeVito?
They should have just put her in there.
Can you imagine if it was Danny DeVito, the professional?
He wouldn't be doing sit-ups. He'd be like, this is how you roll around on the ground and attack them.
Yeah. Make sure you buy whole milk.
Yeah.
No, do you remember? There's a meme.
He would just like
there's a meme from
oil
Sunny.
himself
It's
up
Always Sunny.
and slide around and shoot.
Yeah, they can't get a hold of him because he's greasy.
Yeah, he's slipping through the couch. He's just
Danny
Where'd he
DeVito,
go?
He's just small.
Yeah.
So all the bullets just go over his head.
He's so greasy, the bullets just sliding around.
I love Danny DeVito, bro.
I do.
So there's a meme from when he's in Sunny. Oh, It's Always Sunny. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and then I just started blasting. Right?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's Leon.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
we remake Leon the Professional with Danny DeVito? God, honestly, that would be really funny. I would love that. A really like awkward, like short, fat dude. An old, like haggard, bald fucking dude. Danny DeVito, just as a badass.
On. Yeah. Just a little beanie and suspenders.
A little beanie. Danny DeVito in a beanie, dude. Come on, man.
God, I don't even think that's a real picture, Danny DeVito in a beanie. I don't know. I've never seen that.
I'm gonna look for it. You saw the movie Heat?
I just don't think his head can physically, like, it's not shaped for a beanie.
It just had to be squat and wide.
Yeah, his head is like some sort of shaped out, like polished river stone or something. So fucking wide.
It's so fucking specific.
Like no hat would have grip.
Why is that so funny, dude?
No hat would have grip on his head. It would just like
a river stone.
It would just
smooth
like
and
it would
flat.
just squish up every time. It wouldn't grab onto anything.
We're not even talking about Léon the Professional anymore. We're just talking about how funny Danny DeVito is. Oh man, shout out Danny DeVito, dude.
He should have been in this film.
Oh my dude, I would. Why have they not done that? Why don't they make a movie where they play it straight? They don't play it for laughs. They play it straight. They play it like this guy's a badass assassin, and he's just like a little guy like Danny DeVito. That would be so fucking funny.
It'd be hilarious, but then some people would take it seriously and be like, "That's my favorite." They're like little people.
Oh, you want to be like Peter Dinklage?
They're like, "That is my favorite film. I am such a badass."
Unironically,
I am such a badass.
So yeah, we'd have to make it and have them make a really unique fashion choice, and then little people will start adopting that fashion choice because they love.
Jean Reno.
It can't be.
He's had like 3 wives. They've all been hot.
Really?
Yeah, they've all been beautiful looking. I mean,
he's a charming guy.
Hot,
he's a charming guy.
Yeah.
He's got like a hot ass French wife or what?
He's had like 3 hot ass French wives.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's Jean Reno.
He's Jean Reno, dude.
He's fucking the Leo.
Jean Reno, the original John Wick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jean Wick.
John Wick.
John Wick is crazy.
Yeah, so going back to that, like John Wick doing all these crazy kills and like being such a badass with weapons, I think this was like the forerunner to that. Because I hadn't seen a film before this that really shows just one individual being so deadly, being such a solo killer. Because that's really how John Wick operates, is just a solo, one man army. I feel
with a reputation.
Yeah, and I feel like just like this character, he's like when regular life, when trying to become normal comes into play, that's when shit goes wrong. He tried to bring in that his, I guess you could call it his handler, that what was the dude? The dude was holding his money. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Hey, change isn't good." And like they look around and like he's old. He's running out of a pizza place, like an underground like murder syndicate. And
there's a lot of parallels.
And like, but you wouldn't be able to tell because it's just a regular pizza place. But this guy,
it's a money laundering.
Yeah, but this guy has so much money actually, but it's like it's unseen money. And he's like, "Well, you don't."
I got it all up here.
Yeah, you don't change anything. And then there's literally some old guy they just show in the corner, the dad or someone or some
Uncle Tony.
Yeah, he's like some old guy in a hat in the corner, and that's when he says, "We don't change things. Like change is bad." And then he's like, look at that old fuck. Like he's around.
He's been coming here for 30 years.
Yeah, he's around because we haven't changed it. Like and. Exactly. As soon as John Wick tried to have a family, like
and it's a classic revenge story.
Yeah.
Exactly. So no, I think you're right, man. You're hitting on some stuff with that because I think it is sort of the grandfather of the John Wick. Yeah, this is exactly why I actually don't think it's that great a movie, but I respect its place in action cinema. Like you kind of have to see. Like, if you're into action movies, like really into action movies, and you haven't seen a Jackie Chan movie, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I understand that it's out of fashion now.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up VHS times, man. We would go to Blockbuster, and we would rent those movies, and Jackie Chan was, like, always on the roster, dude. We were trying to look at fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, horror movies, Puppet Master, shit like that.
I don't know. If you have...
But Jackie Chan was always in there.
If you even grew up and could deal with the bad cinematographic... or the bad choreography, of the fight scenes in, I don't know, like Power Rangers or some bullshit like that, I think you should be just fine with the choreography or the fight sequences in any old action movie, which are probably 1,000 times better than Power Rangers. But just saying, like, people would be, oh, well, the editing isn't top-notch. Well, the fight scenes, like, oh, well... If you look right here, he doesn't actually hit him. I'm like,
Yeah, you're supposed to allow a suspension of disbelief.
There's some.
You're supposed to just have fun. If you're looking at this, critiquing it in that way,
yeah,
that's lame.
Yeah,
look at it and go, you know what? I'm just gonna have some
believable.
Oh, what is he doing? Sit-ups? That's stupid.
Yeah, But the simplistic explanation is, he just sit-ups the whole film, and then later on he's like, wee, he like
dips down, shoots,
yeah,
and then
dips
like
down
comes
and
up,
shoots.
and
someone who critiques it would be like, he wouldn't be able to do that because of this. But
you know what I would, yes, you're right. What I would have wanted to see is like a scene because he drinks milk all the time that he gets shot in the stomach. And then,
milk just
then,
comes
then it's milk and blood coming out. You're like, oh fuck! He got
I thought you were gonna say
He's
when
like-
he's doing that like thing. He
he
down
throws
and
up
just
milk.
throws up. He's just like, oh. Where is he? Oh, there's the milk. That's
Matilda, they shot my stomach, and there's like milk coming out of him.
They shot my milk story there.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head on that one, man. Because you're right. This is weirdly like, it's The Godfather, man. It deserves its place in modern action cinema. You have to look.
There's
back
some
on
bad
it.
parts to it. Yeah,
Of course, man. I definitely want to get into that a little bit. Let's talk, because what I think we should do is I have a couple of other points on here, and there's like kind of the big issue with this that we need to talk about. But let me hit a couple of points before we get there. So, are you familiar? And I know what this is, but I never saw or read it. But I'm familiar with it. Does that make sense? Have you ever heard of Lone Wolf and Cub? No. So Lone Wolf and Cub was like a Japanese or Korean or something. It was some like manga that came out in some magazine.
Okay.
And it's basically the concept of like a killer badass assassin that has like a child.
Okay.
And so that trope, and they made a like TV show about it. So it was a manga, like magazine article, like comic book, and then they made a show out of it, and then that sort of like idea has lasted forever. We're gonna never stop making these. Yeah, this falls into that category.
Was that made before?
Oh yeah, it was made in like I want to say like 60s, maybe even before. Yeah, maybe 70s. Okay, but it's an old trope. Yeah. of the badass killer assassin who has a heart of gold, but it's underneath an exterior. So they do this over and over. I've seen it how many times? If I were to sit here and list it, we'd be here for a long time because they've done this story a lot. They did. You ever see Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks?
Oh yeah,
yeah. He his son discovers, hey, dad's a badass killer gangster, and then he takes him in and starts showing him how to do it. And that's a
good movie too.
That's a great movie. Yeah, that's based off of a fucking comic book also.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I believe so. Let me know if I got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying to remember who directed that one.
Last of Us?
Last of Us, yeah.
Last of Us is a badass killer dude, takes in a young person. This is falling into that. I feel like there's a lot of...
There's a lot
of these stories.
That's a very big thing in anime and manga. Is that trope?
Well, Lone Wolf and Cub is kind of like the godfather of that.
So it would make sense. Yeah, there's a lot of that in...
So I definitely am going to make it a point to watch a few episodes of it because it looks like if you're into samurai movies and like old school movies like that, which I'm not as much.
I mean, even Kick-Ass like has that kind of...
Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
Oh, with the daughter and the dad. Nicolas Cage is the dad. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. I was like, I thought Kick-Ass was on his own. No, you're right. The daughter
was
following the dad. Yeah, no, it's a common thing.
Yeah, like he kind of just like, oh, you want to learn how to go? Okay. Like,
yeah, there's
kind of a bad influence. And it always turns out bad, like in all these stories.
Oh, it's never going to
be a happy ending.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, they're trying to, it's fantasy, it's a fairy tale to teach you a story, or teach you a lesson, that this lifestyle is not good. You want to think at the end of this movie, at the end of Leon, when she goes to the orphanage or she goes to the school, boarding school, whatever this place is, that she's gonna use her experience with this, learn from it, and stay well away from crime. But there was a pretty vocal fan base of this movie that was like, hey, we want to see what Matilda did after this. So there was some kind of disagreement that Luc Besson had with the original production team. I don't know, it's like Gaumont or something. It's like some European thing, Gaumont Productions or something, and they own the rights to Leon. So Luc Besson got enough success and wanted to make his own production studio.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make a movie with his characters, but the other place owns it. So there was like this kind of
back and forth
issue with it, trying to get the rights and not wanting to spend the money and thinking, well, the shit belongs to me. I fucking wrote it, didn't I? So they made a movie. It's a spiritual successor to Léon the Professional.
Okay.
You might have seen it. I saw it and I don't remember it at all. Now, maybe I just watched it. It was a Friday night and I popped the DVD in and whatever. It's a dumb action movie. I didn't realize like what was happening. Because if I knew that watching this, I probably would have thought about it different. It's called Colombiana.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that movie.
So Colombiana, it's like a girl in Colombia, in Bogota.
Isn't it with from Guardians of the Galaxy? What's her name?
Zoe Saldana?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like the main chick. So it's a
Zoe
spiritual
Saldana,
but I'm sorry. I don't
remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Beautiful actress. She's hot,
yeah.
dude. I love her. But yeah, she was in a movie called Colombiana, and it's a revenge tale, but then you see kind of the tragedy of her family getting killed.
And it's from him?
And it's a vengeance. It's Luc Besson.
Oh, okay.
And he took it and ran with it, and he was kind of like, oh, well, what's a cool idea to see where quote-unquote Matilda would have gone. So that's kind of what it is.
Okay.
I'm going to rewatch that. I'm going to rewatch that because I'm curious to see if it lives up in my head. I think the story's better if she retires, if she like learns that it's not good, that this was the worst thing that could have happened to them was her trying to get revenge. And that's the lesson you're supposed to learn. Like, hey, it's better to sometimes just let shit go than, because it's her trying to go kill Gary Oldman that makes this situation worse. Yeah, and ultimately leads to Leon's death.
If she would have just let it alone,
they could have disappeared together.
Yeah, they could have disappeared.
I just thought that was cool, and it's something that I'm probably going to go out of my way to see again, because I didn't know that when I first saw it, that, hey, this is a quote-unquote spiritual successor, a weird almost sequel to
that's
Leon.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't remember the beginning of Colombiana, if
they even reference.
Yeah, there's got to be, because if he's going to do it, he's got to reference it in some way.
Yeah. But how does he do it without getting sued or without like giving away his character?
Well, because you can just say a line. You can just say, I'm sick of milk.
Yeah.
If she says something, you know what I mean? Like if she says
what if she starts her day off with milk every single scene?
Oh, right. Yeah. Or she's just doing a shit ton of sit-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you see something like that, then you go, okay, he's clearly nodding his own shit. But yeah, I thought that was cool.
Okay.
Definitely going to see it again, because I did watch it and I don't remember it. So that movie either wasn't that good or it was pretty good and I just didn't have the concept that it was connected to Leon.
And then you would have,
because I would have appreciated it more. I would have been like, okay, I'm trying to. Oh, she mentioned milk.
Connected
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, but you're like, it was this stupid bitch with milk.
Zoe Saldana drinks milk. Who gives a fuck? Let's talk about some of the more uncomfortable aspects of this, because we were gonna hit it at some point. That one of the things that didn't age well in this, because I don't think they would make this movie now, right? And you could argue with good reason or not. Again, the explanation of he's playing this character as a 10-year-old, mentally a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel as weird. But her falling in love with him and him still letting her stay with him, there is a fatherly aspect to this, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely more romantic than it is fatherly. Maybe not as much coming from him, definitely coming from her, but that's a tough pill to swallow as a modern day looker, where you go, you're supposed to know better than to, if a young child is making advances at you, you should know better than to reciprocate it or be okay with it, right?
Yeah.
So this would not play well today. So let's discuss that. does it get a pass, or was it nasty for this? Do we look at it as a piece of art and
I think
accept it for what it is, or do we go, maybe that was too far?
I think with if the actor would have played it differently, it would have, if he would have given, and honestly, like you say, maybe a European thing. Honestly, if they would have had an American actor, it would have played very wrong.
It would have felt weirder, right?
Yeah, very wrong. But I do feel like a reverse sense of like Taxi Driver also a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely a correlation there.
Yeah. Like,
because he like tries to defend Jodie Foster.
Yeah, he's trying to and he dies defending Matilda.
Well, De Niro dies stopping a sex act in Taxi Driver.
Well, he doesn't die.
It's arguable. Let's keep going.
Oh, that he actually did die?
Yeah, that ending scene is a fever dream of him dying, yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, he is pretty shot up at the end of it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like
it ends with him saving Jodie Foster.
If the character was played by an American actor or a Western actor, I definitely feel it would have been played. It would have been received differently. The way that he played it, taking the way that he even took the character itself, definitely changed that like dynamic between the two of them played out. Because very easily, just a couple alterations of acting or just how certain stuff was done would have been a lot more creepier, because it could easily be just because of their age difference and because of that sexualization, which is like...
Yeah, they expose her midriff a lot.
Even if it's not on her part, I mean, even if it's not on his part and it's on her part, it's like, well, she's like innocent. She's like, what, 12? So she's kind of in that age of like coming to age of a girl too, so that... And
she probably saw a lot of things she shouldn't have seen.
She sees her parents have sex, like at the beginning of the film.
She uses really foul language.
She uses foul language. She's smoking cigarettes. She's, obviously...
She quote unquote grew up fast.
Yeah.
That's like what how people say when
and she's
you're
like,
in a bad position and have to learn fast.
She's mimicking, Madonna and mimicking Marilyn Monroe. So she has seen this. She knows about these pop culture references. She's seen it on TV. She's seen a lot of things in her household, and she has grown up very quickly. And
well, I see your point, and I agree with it for sure that like you can excuse it because it's showing you something. It's a window into this fictional. I think the issue that I'm sort of like, where I'm like, because if you're going to make this film, then you do it the way they did it, where, like you said, they consider that he's the way he acts, the way he behaves very naively. He even dresses like with high waters, and he kind of looks dopey. And when you see him, when they zoom in on his face, his mouth is agape a little bit. He's like,
he looks like...
There's someone we know, a couple of people we know that we're kind of referencing right here. I had to cut it out, but that's funny as fuck. He looks dopey at the screen. His mouth's a little bit open.
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna make the project, you do what they did. You let somebody who's aware of how this can make him look, and he goes, I'm going to play it as a child, and I'm going to roll with that. My criticism is more so coming from the production, like the studio itself and the people that made it, where you go,
what were you thinking?
Could have made this just a cool action film where like it's a father-daughter relationship.
Yes.
And people would have still felt the same.
Yeah.
You could have felt like he was a protector of her, and she goes to him and he does, those same things could have been played the same way, and they're not.
Yeah. Have you ever seen...
Why did they make her like hit on him?
What is it called? Paper
Like,
Moon? Have you seen Paper Moon?
I don't think so.
So father and daughter, it's like a 70s or 80s film. father and daughter, like the dad is like a con man, and the daughter goes with him and just plays along, and like it's a very much like he's leading her into this life of like kind of this, but they could have done, but they could have done it in that sense with a very father-daughter.
Yeah, they really could have leaned into
him being the father that she never had. Him like, but
there's a couple of scenes where they do it, and that's why it kind of works. Where she's talking to that kid outside, and he's like, "You need to be careful." He like grabs her, and he like looks at the guy. Remember he's at the Italian restaurant. Mm-hmm. And he sees her talking, and he goes, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And he goes over and puts a stop to it. So that's clearly, I don't know. Again, you could argue it the other way, where he's jealous that she's talking to some man. So it doesn't look good. You know, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But it's played for. He's like protective. The way a dad would like doesn't want his daughter talking to some bum.
Yeah.
So like there's a couple of scenes. You know, he tells her not to smoke anymore. He asks her to stop cussing. There's a scene where they're walking. And he tries to reiterate to her that there's rules to this.
It don't work like that. It's not professional.
You know, okay, yeah, you kind of got me by the balls. You're gonna do something to put me in danger. I can get in trouble if I don't play along. That's what his thinking is, right? Yeah. Because she like shoots out his apartment, and he's like, "Okay,
we gotta go move. Yeah,
we gotta go now."
Yeah.
But there's that part where he's like, "There's rules to this. No women." No kids. Scarface. That's like a weirdly, because you want to think that the guy is okay, so he has to have some kind of code.
Yeah.
But he teaches her the code.
Mm-hmm.
The theory. She goes, "Just teach me the theory." But there wasn't enough of the father-daughter type stuff.
No, there wasn't, because
it was too much of a.
He was too much like of a child to really play that.
Well, and they make her too interested in him. Like saying that okay, so there's two cuts to this. There's the extended cut and there's the theatrical cut.
Uh-huh.
In the extended cut, there's more scenes, and there's a scene where she says something like she thinks she wants him to be her first. There's a scene where they're actually sleeping in the same bed. There's
I remember seeing that scene as where
you probably saw the extended cut at some point. Mm-hmm. I watched the theatrical cut last night because I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to watch 30 extra minutes of stuff. I probably should have for the show. Sorry.
I did the theatrical because I think it was like...
It's like 90 minutes.
Yeah, 90 minutes.
It's like 100 minutes, something like that. But the extended cut is like 133 minutes. Something like that. And I was like, I don't know if I have the energy to stay up. And if most people are not going to see the extended cut, then why even watch it, you know? Mm-hmm. But there's I saw like a screenshot, like a picture of
more stuff that doesn't help.
It doesn't help the case, dude. It's worse. It's like Lolita shit. I almost think it's a call to Lolita. I almost feel like Luc Besson was aware of Vladimir Nabokov's novel. Have you ever read Lolita? That's a rough read, man. You know what it's about? No, Lolita?
Lolita? No.
Yeah, Lolita is about, just quickly, it's about this guy, Humbert, who...
It's a terrible name.
I hate it, right? So he discovers this girl named Dolores, and he calls her his Lolita. Dolores, Lolita, he like figures out this nickname. Mm-hmm. So he writes in this journal, and that the book is the whole journal. And he falls in love with her, and she's like 12. And he's had some kind of weird sexual thing happen to him when he was young, and like a tragedy, like he had like a girlfriend that died tragically. Like there's a weird trauma associated with his sexuality. And the book really makes you like get in his head. And he falls in love with Dolores. He marries her mother so he can be near her. And then at some point, he absconds with her, the girl. Mm-hmm. And they go on the run, and he's got his girlfriend who's a young girl. And so your protagonist of this story is like a pedophile.
Jesus.
Yeah, Lolita. Stanley Kubrick made a movie about it. There was some other person made a movie. Like this is one of those things where it's like it's a classic novel.
How was the Kubrick movie?
If I'm not mistaken, it's in black and white, and it's kind of dry, and all of the parts that are supposed to be really passionate are done cold, because in the book it's written really passionately. And there's a scene in the reason I bring Lolita up right now is because there's a scene in this movie where he gets her a gift. He brings her that pink dress. Mm-hmm. There's a whole like scene where Humbert goes to the store, and he like in the journal he's writing how like he's trying to pretend like that it's for his daughter, and he like doesn't know how girls' clothing works, but he knows that he wants to see her in a specific type of dress. So there's like this weird. He's like,
I want her to dress like a girl, but I also want her to dress somewhat sexualized.
Yeah, he wants right, and then he has to go in there and act like he. Well, I don't know. It's for my daughter. It's supposed to be a surprise. Can she? What is this even called? He's like having to like do this act.
Yeah.
And when I saw him bring home the dress, I was like, wow. So he went to a store and was like, my daughter, pink and
pretty.
Yeah. Like I imagined him doing that, and I was like, is that fucking Lolita? Like it's crazy. Well, because it's very It's all that you can tell. It's a reference to Lolita, I think. In my head, it's in my perception of this. That's a crazy book, man.
Yeah,
and it's known as a classic. They study it, man. They study it because it's like because he like tricks you. He tricks you.
Writer? Did the writer end up
Vladimir Nabokov?
Did he end up doing bad stuff?
I don't think so. I think because the point of the project was that he's using beautiful language, and it's very like poetic, and you almost like because he's the protagonist, he's trying to like
you almost feel for the
you almost feel for him, and it does it on purpose to trip you up.
Yeah, that's messed up
because you're like, yeah, he's an asshole, and then I think unless it's been years since I read it, but he like she finds out about it. She finds his journal. And she sees all the stuff he's been writing about her daughter. Mm-hmm. And she, like, freaks the fuck out. And she, like, runs into traffic and gets hit by a car. And I think that's when he, like, takes her.
Oh, yeah?
I think so. That's great. I don't really want to read it anytime soon. But this movie made me uncomfortable a lot. Because of that. Yeah. Because it was weirdly... And then Natalie Portman later went off to say that she got a lot of, like, unwanted attention from this. Mm-hmm. Because she was like 12 or something when this came out. She did like Heat.
During the time
she did Heat, the movie Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. She did that movie like a year after this.
Yeah.
So she was getting a lot of like creep attention because of how sexual she was being in this movie. You know?
Yeah.
So again, one of the reasons why I think like why was the studio kind of okay with sexualizing her so much? Because of how young she was?
Yeah.
I don't know. It puts a bad taste in my mouth when I watch it. I'm like, why can't it just be a cool father-daughter? Like,
if you take her out of it,
or just take the sexual stuff out of it.
Yeah, if you just take her out of it, it's a badass. Just shoot.
Yeah, if you leave that stuff out, it'll be 45 minutes long. But
yeah,
or why couldn't it have been a boy? Why couldn't
it still be?
No. He doesn't like come on to him or anything. Like, you know, just like a young kid that was scared that his family just got murdered. Yeah. You know, and then he's like gonna do it. He's gonna be a killer now. Like that.
Yeah.
Because at least you could be like, well, there's no sexual weird stuff. Yeah, he's a kid and he's only gonna be a.
I honestly would have felt like it maybe would have been cooler if the 4-year-old little boy was.
Oh, dude, right?
If he survived and he wasn't being raised to be a killer. And what's his name was just trying to like somehow with his 10-year-old mind or however the guy actor wanted, maybe he would have played it differently.
They would have, yeah, if it was there was no sexual aspect.
Yeah,
of this,
if he's just trying to like raise this 4-year-old boy who's obviously needs like so much attention, and then also trying to be like a killer at the same time. That almost seems like a comedy movie too.
If you were gonna make that movie, then yeah, let's make it a comedy.
Yeah, just. With the 4-year-old
I'm okay with a cool comedy movie.
It's basically like what is it? What is it? Baby Daddy or whatever.
Oh, I don't think I saw that.
The one with Adam Sandler. You hate Adam Sandler.
I hate Adam Sandler. I'm never doing a movie with Adam Sandler. The Chorizo Bros will not entertain Adam Sandler projects here. Honestly, the whole Adam Sandler crew, David Spade, any of those pricks. I don't like Will Ferrell either.
You're like, but I'll do Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider, I'll give an exception.
You give Rob Schneider.
I'll give Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider, you're all right with me, but fuck Adam Sandler. I don't like Adam Sandler, man.
Yeah.
Because he does one thing. Do you imagine if Léon the Professional instead of John Renault, it's Adam Sandler, but he's doing his dumb guy Billy Madison routine, where he's like, I don't know, I'm Adam Sandler and I talk like this, and I'm kind of stupid. Like
they try to.
Why do people? Wait, hang on.
They try to question him. They're like, oh.
We're gonna go off on a tangent here because I just need to say this, and I need to ask. I need someone else's like mind on this. Who the fuck thinks that's funny?
Adam Sandler.
Well, when he does that act.
Apparently millions of people.
You watch him and he's like, well, yeah, what if I do this? That's funny? How the fuck is that funny? Give me Bill Murray being a fucking asshole, dry, sarcastic person any day. I'll take that any day.
That's hilarious.
That's I'd rather watch that as a funny movie. Or like if you're gonna go absurd like What We Do in the Shadows. You ever watch that?
Oh yeah.
That movie's great.
Oh yeah.
Oh dude, we should do that for our vampires.
Didn't they have a movie before they had the show?
Yeah, I'm talking about the movie.
Yeah.
We should talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
When we do our vampire movies.
Yeah.
I love that movie. See? Because it's absurd.
Okay.
And it's like, we're just going to... The reason why this humor works is because they're playing it straight.
Yes.
They play it like...
They are...
I'm being genuine, and it's
I'm a genuine
just coming
vampire.
off as funny.
I'm just really bad at it.
We see it as like they're fuck ups.
Yeah.
But like the one guy who's like, yeah, what, I'm sexy.
Yeah.
He means it.
He thinks it.
And we're looking at him like, it's fucking absurd. It's
yeah,
so funny.
he thinks it.
Or like the part where they're like, well, we can't see ourselves in the mirror. So they draw each other in outfits because they can't see the dude. That's a 5 out of 5 for me. I fucking love that movie. Anyway, we're not going to talk about fucking vampire movies. We should. I think the big thing with this movie was not the violence, was not the dirty cops, was not the drug trafficking family. It was weirdly the child and adult sexual stuff.
Yeah,
in
the
this movie.
sexualization.
It was too much.
It was a lot. And even for the dated 90s, like I want to say that now there's just so many movies, and if you really want to look for something that plays on that kind of trope, there's plenty of content. But during the 90s, like not to say it was fresh, but there wasn't a lot of films that were just like, hey, here's this weirdly sexualized relationship between a grown man and a girl. Like there wasn't. Now there's so many movies where if you really want to find that type of content, like there's some Netflix movie about some weird relationship with a teacher or a student or something like that.
Right.
But in the 90s,
but those are like salacious on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose.
Right.
But at this point, it's like it's not. It's trying to be, but also not. But it's trying to touch on the subject, and
because it's not about that. It's just about revenge and
But then they put that in a backdrop, and it's like, whoa. It's not believable though, because she's not being held hostage by him, but somewhat in a way. Because he
could take her to the police station any fucking moment.
Yeah, he's protecting her, but she could give him away at any moment also. So there's a sense of this is her only option. She sees it when she rings on the doorbell. She's like, please open. She's crying.
Right.
She's like, please. This is her only option. And once he opens that door, she is his until
something happens.
Yeah. And then she kind of just it's almost like she starts telling herself, maybe this is what I have to do to stay with him, is to become his woman. Maybe this is what I have to do.
Yeah. Oh, let's touch on that before we close out.
To make this a happy family, to make this a happy situation is, she's a young girl. She's seeing, well, what does a man want? What has she seen of her father? And and she's kind of like, maybe she needs to
This is the way to continue him taking care of me.
Yeah, taking care of
valuing
is
me.
that I'm not just a little girl that's something that you have to take care of, or a burden. I'm an equal, or even like if I'm with him, I really am with him, and he can't like get rid of me. And there's a sense of like what do you call it when people fall in love with their captors?
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome, like a little bit of that, like almost
Europeans.
Yeah, Stockholm, exactly. And so yeah, I do feel like part of it is her maybe saying that maybe this is what I have to play into the role.
That's really smart.
I have to get into this part because she's so young and naive to even like she doesn't have.
She
to
doesn't understand.
Yeah, she doesn't
the implications of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. She thinks she does. But she doesn't really know what it means. I wrote, and I even highlighted it, because I was trying to figure out. I was like, what psychologically is going on with her? And we'll close that in a second. What's psychologically going on with her because what got me was when she takes the gun and shoots it out the window. She knew that was bad for both of them. It wasn't just an accentuation of her point to him. It was self-destructive behavior. So according to this list that I saw, and it's not very clinical, I did a very minuscule amount of research on this. This was just pulling up something and reading some shit that I saw. It wasn't like, I don't know enough about clinical psychology or anything to be making any points, really. But what I saw was a list of behaviors that people that grow up with trauma, childhood trauma, that they exhibit. One of them is being overly sexualized. From their point, her talking like she knows much more about sex than she probably does. Her feeling like she has some more understanding. Or maybe she does understand. You don't know what else was going on in that household before. She's like, not just being like,
she might be sexually abused also because she's getting...
That's what I was going to get at, yeah.
Because she's constantly getting beaten. And also her father seems to have quite a sexual appetite. It's just one scene that they really show. But you don't really know because you have this 12-year-old girl beaten up, down...
missing school
for 2 weeks because probably she doesn't want to show that she's been getting beaten or something like that.
It's complicated, yeah.
But something's happening heavy because she's down the hall standing in front of the elevator staircase instead of by her, even close to her apartment, and smoking cigarettes. She is like...
It's like weirdly like seeking attention and stuff.
Yes.
So one of the things on that list was self-destructive behavior, engaging in self-harm, substance abuse, or risky sexual behavior. So what I saw with this was that her way of acting out is doing something that's also bad for her. Like you said, she goes and sneaks off and smokes cigarettes, even though she knows that she could get caught. She's not doing it because she enjoys cigarettes. She's 12 years old. What the fuck does she know about cigarettes? She's smoking them as an example of this is how grown up I am, or this is how much of a rebel I am, or like, oh, I dare you to catch me. Let me do it outside my apartment.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't think her dad's going to maybe smell it on her or something. So like that's your first inkling that there's something going on. But then she multiple times does this, where she shoots out the apartment the one time and you go, okay. And then there's that scene where he tells her, we act professional. We don't act like this. There's the other scene later on when he gets the apartment with her and they're pretending that they're doing the violin. And she goes to that fucking clerk and she's like, that's not my dad. That's my lover. So she is aware that is all that's going to hurt him. And that's the point that she's making. But that also isn't convenient for her. That's self-destructive. She's making her own life harder by doing that.
Yeah.
And what psychologically was the point of possibly getting him in trouble? How does that make her life better?
Yeah. No.
So there's a tweaked, like it's attention seeking. It's like, here I'm acting out because I'm not getting paid enough attention to, or something. You know, there's some weird stuff going on there. And that was pretty cool that they like understood that. They understood that
when things are just fine and normal, and they're just living in the apartment and drinking milk and just living day to day. She's like, "This is boring. Let me put on like a sexualized show for you."
Oh man.
Yeah, she's like, "Let's play a game."
And she turns it into creepy.
Like, yeah, she's you know.
But do you think she knows?
That's self-destructive.
She knows that it is,
she's
right?
like, let me see if I can
make him uncomfortable
or pull it out of him.
Get mad at him.
Or get him aroused or something. Yeah. Like,
yikes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some crazy stuff.
So
she's probably the most complex character in the
Oh yeah,
movie.
there's a lot to say about this.
Also, she's probably the best actress in the film too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She I mean, the only person that's like legitimately good at performance-wise, her and then Tony, the guy, Leon's boss. I was like, that felt like a real guy.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
If for the heavy lifting he has to do, he doesn't have to do anything performance-wise. But that guy felt legit. That guy felt real. He did a good. He was a good character. Kind of, you can tell he's kind of taking advantage of Leon.
Yeah.
You can tell there's something
sleazy pizza owner.
Right. So yeah, that guy did a great job. But yeah, Natalie Portman was. You go, man. She's a great actress in this movie. She did a good.
Yeah.
It seems like on command. And
I think worst actor. I mean,
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman takes second only because there was that Rasta guy that was in the movie.
Fucking Rasta Pete.
That Rasta guy was terrible.
All right, let's get out of here, man. Guys, I think we're shutting it down.
Yeah.
Let's say what we always say. You guys leave some comments, man. We want to see what you guys are saying. We want to know what you guys want us to read or watch or talk about next, or counter one of our points, or bring something up that we didn't think of. How much did you love the skit? How much did you love Brandon as Leon? A lot. Like and subscribe, guys. We're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much.